good morning and welcome to another episode of Bushcraft Dave. I'm out and about, leaving the little village of Crowdercote where I've been camping for the last few days, and I'm out today on quite a huge hike. I don't know whether I've been foolish or not. Yeah, probably. I've done very little hiking or anything for absolutely ages, and so as a almost a punishment to myself, I'm going out on an absolutely massive one. So today I'm doing 5 Ethels. I can't remember even the name of them. We're going to get to the first one very, very soon, because where I've camped is in the sort of the shadow of the first one. Yeah, I haven't done any Ethels for absolutely ages. My number count on the Ethels is very, very poor. I think I've done like 21 out of the 90 odd. So I'm going to do 5 today. It's a 16.5 mile hike. It reckons it'll take me about 7 hours 15 minutes. I am in no rush. Like, I will take it super steady. I've brought with me an army ration pack, which, if you watch next week's video, you're going to see everything that I've eaten during this hike. So if you love your ration pack videos, next week's the one for that, and it's already looking amazing. See, I'm just leaving Crowdercote campsite, and I'm in the shadows of my first peak for the day. You can just about see the crest of it. Morning, cows. I'm pretty sure this peak is called High Wheeldon. It's going to be a long old hike, but that's the challenge. And I've set off really early in the morning. It is, what time are we now? It's about 7:30, 7:45. So if it's going to take me 7 hours 15 minutes, I'm going to be finishing, at the moment, still fairly early evening. But even just taking me time, I don't mind if I finish late on at night. The whole point is this is meant to be a challenge for me. Could well be the biggest walk I've ever done. I don't think any of the days of Hadrian's Wall that I did last year were necessarily as long as this. But anyway, enough of me rambling. It's time for me to start rambling. So this is the start of my ascent up to the first peak of the day. This is the highest sort of grade that I'm going to have to do today. It is fairly steep for quite a lot of it. I think over the whole hike it's something like 1,500 feet up, 1,500 feet down. I reckon quite a lot of the up is in this part of the journey. I think I might be doing about 800 feet up just in this one peak, but I think once I then get up there, the sort of the peaks and troughs are going to be a lot lower. It's because I'm coming right out of the valley and heading up to the top. Right, I thought I'd do it now before I'm out of breath, but let's head up the hill. I'm still making my way up this steep. The footing's not great. I mean, the incline is hefty. I mean, it's got to be over 45 degrees. It's steep. Down there you can see the campsite. Might even be able to zoom in on my little tent, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's my little white car. And my green tent just hidden in amongst it. I've come a long way up already. And if it were a clearer day, we'd be able to see Parkhouse Hill. I think Chrome Hill is maybe that one, I'm not sure. I haven't really got my bearings yet. But we're still on our way up. It's kind of funny that the more we
set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs.
Oh, you can't really see down into the valley anymore. I know this morning when I looked up to the peak, it looked like it was cloudy, but I thought it might have just been clearing. We're nearly there. High Wheeldon. Oh, 422 metres. I'll double check, but I think that's higher than Parkhouse Hill and Chrome Hill, I'm not sure. I mean, you can't tell from the video, but it's noticeably vertical down there. Here we go.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you.
High Wheeldon. 1,384 feet. Look at the views. Nothing. Right, I need to figure out where I'm going next, and even what the next one's called. But that's one chalked off for the day. It's a good start. Just about made my way down now from High Wheeldon. Loads of sheep's about. Nearly at the bottom of this valley, I have to say, because it's, I don't know whether it's because it's early morning or because the weather's a bit shocking, but it is super wet. Like my shoes are, well, I'm obviously not, the shoes aren't wet on the inside because I've bought some good shoes, but it's all really slippy. There was loads of good footholds up here, you can see. But then you look on the bit that I've got to do now, there's nothing at all. So I could easily end up flat on my backside here, couldn't I? But I'm only heading down this last little stretch, across that field, and then we're off onto some pathway or something over there. But the next part of my journey, it's a 4-mile stretch now. Hopefully not too much in the way of ascents and descents. Hopefully fairly level across the valley. Heading to my second peak of the day, which is Chelmorton Low. Well, being out and about is absolutely reminding me why I should do it a hell of a lot more. When I started doing the channel, one of the main reasons I wanted to do it was going to give me that added motivation to get out and to not be just sitting about at home, because obviously it was around about the time of lockdown. I was watching other YouTubers and thinking I could do that, and I probably can't, but just getting out and about is super important. It was going to be great for my physical health, it was going to be great for my mental health as well. Now, my physical health is not in a bad position at all at the moment. Like, I'm relatively fit and healthy. I'd love to be a little bit thinner, wouldn't we all? But getting out and about and just clearing the mind is really good. And I've really not seen anybody. A cyclist has just passed me on this track not too long ago, and it was the first person I've seen for about 2 hours. And there's almost something really important, isn't there, about being kind of on your own with your thoughts. Like, don't get me wrong, I love hiking with other people, Mrs. Bushcraft Dave, Alexi, people like that. Like, I love getting out and about with people. But there's also times where just having to be on your own, and to some extent talking to yourself, that yeah, it's really good for you. I'm enjoying all of this walk so far. I'm not 100% sure that I'll be saying that in about another 5 hours time, 6 hours time maybe, when I finish doing this. But I am enjoying it so far. Alright, now this bit that we're approaching now, which takes you onto the Pennine Bridleway, we're going to come back to this, but at the minute I'm kind of heading to Cheadale, so it's Chelmorton, Cheadale, Taddington. I'm heading over that way at the minute, but then eventually I'm going to come back and head on that Pennine Bridleway to Parsley Hay. But right now, Cheedale. And the weather appears to be just clearing up a bit. Everything's looking a bit brighter. Fingers crossed that lasts. I'm just getting up to a little junction now. It's really funny because I've got my my phone on ultra power saving mode, which is really useful, and it's extending the battery life. I've got 2 chargers with me today, 2 power banks, so I'm going to be absolutely fine. But what happens is that the connection between the hike that I've planned and my watch, the GPS keeps disappearing until I unlock my phone, and then the GPS signal's gained again, and then I lock my phone and the GPS signal's lost. So I'm constantly, well, not constantly, but I'm having to regularly redo it. So I'm just continuing to follow the Pennine Bridleway. It's quite a nice route so far. It's been fairly flat. Yeah, it's been good. I don't know how long I've been going. Hour and a half, something like that. Don't even know how far I've gone. 2 miles maybe? 3 miles? It's difficult to tell. Going well. Well, this is the route I'm heading. It's been like this for absolutely ages. But I think just over there is Chelmorton Low, which is my second Ethel of the day. So I'm not too far away from that now. Yeah, I reckon I could be there in sort of the next half an hour, something like that. Alright, we're much closer now, and we're just on the outskirts of the village of Chelmorton. I don't think we actually end up going down into Chelmorton particularly. And this is one of those Ethels that, frustratingly, I'm not actually going to be able to get to the top of. It reckons that I can get to within 50 metres of the summit. The rest of the summit of Chelmorton Low, which takes you up to 446 metres, the top 50 metres of that is on private, no access land. Now, I'm a stickler for the rules, and I won't go into that area just for the sake of bagging it. I'll get as close as I can, and then I'll visually pat the top of it. But on the top of Chelmorton Low are 2 Bronze Age burial mounds. So it is a site of real significance. It is there's a word for it. It's like a heritage site or an ancient monuments kind of thing. Like, that's why it's private land with no access. So I'm not actually going to be able to get to the top of it, but we'll see how close I can get. Frustrating, but I'll get as close as I can, and then we'll tick that one off and we'll head on to the third. So I'm just realising, having come into Chelmorton, that I've been here before. I thought I might have recognised it. So there's a church here in Chelmorton, and then up this road, I've parked up here before, near the church inn. And I wonder whether I've been to Chelmorton Low before. I may have even been to the third one that I'm going to before. I'm not 100% sure. It was one of the earlier walks that I did. In my head, I'd got the idea that this was the one when I did the Cheedale walk right down in the valley, and I made some quesadillas. And I thought maybe that was this one, but I don't think it is. I think this is maybe something slightly different, another little walk that I did. But can I remember? Can I heck? But it's definitely familiar. This bit's definitely recognisable, because I feel like as I'm just about to approach into the woods here, I think there's a little natural spring or a well just up here. Well, do you know what? We're going to end up coming back to that in a second, because my route initially is going to lead me the opposite direction to Chelmorton Low. Well, according to the GPS on the map, in theory this is as far as I can go. It's kind of showing a track, which I haven't really found, but everything else now that I would even think about doing north of this is into private land. So, oh, hang on, come on, how does this work? Right, I want to go that way. No, yeah, up. Come on, Dave, it's not this difficult. Right, Chelmorton, 2 down, 3 more to go. I'll tell you something, it's pretty good views. We've got Chelmorton village just in front of us and some farmland. I can see quite a few of the other peaks and stuff going around. Right, we're heading back down towards Chelmorton, and then we're going to take the other route across to our 3rd peak of the day. Alright, we're back down from number 2, and we're off on our walk now to number 3, which is called Sow Top, S-O-U-G-H, Sow Top, on Taddington Moor, and it's 438 metres. I thought so. Bank Pit Spring. I knew I remembered it. Nice. I've already got 2 big cartons of water, so I'm alright, but might have been quite useful. Right, so I've definitely walked this before, because when I was looking at what it said about Sow Top, it also made mention of 5 Wells, which is nearby. And that was, I'm sure, what the name of the walk was called. I think it was called maybe 5 Wells and Taddington. But 5 Wells is a Neolithic burial tomb. If you haven't seen that video, I'm sure Mrs. Bushcraft Dave will put a link somewhere, here or whatever. But yeah, check that one out. Because I'm not actually going to go to 5 Wells, I'm just going to go to Sow Top, and then I think I eventually make my way back down to Chelmorton. Anyway, I'm knackered already. It's not far off 11. I think it could be time to stop soon and have some 11s. Okay, it's stop time. Well, it reckons I've got 4 hours 48 remaining. And it was 7 hours 15 to begin with. So it's about 2.5 hours without stopping. It's probably not my brightest move, because I'm feeling quite dehydrated now. Right, back on the road after a bit lovely snack. That was good. Got through quite a few fields of sheep. I'm going to head back down that track eventually, but I just need to carry straight on at the moment and head as close to Sow Top as I can. Right, another set of stairs. Oh, thistles and nettles and God knows what else. I'm glad I opted for my long hard wearing trousers, not shorts. I've been struggling. Oh! And there is a donkey in that field. Wow, didn't he? Well, it's been a nice steady trudge through the fields. I'm kind of going through this lovely field of crops at the minute. Getting incredibly wet trousers from all the dew and rainwater that's hanging off these plants, but it's kind of refreshing. And I think I found Sow Top. So we've got a raised built up bit, a telecommunications tower. Now they would only build that, wouldn't they, if it was the top of something. This is pretty much the highest bit of the landscape that I'm going to be walking on today at 438 metres, and so I'm guessing that's probably even taller. I'll get as close as I can, but I think I probably can't even vaguely get up these steps. That'd be pretty amazing. Let's see how close we can get. Do you know what? I think last time I was here, I think this was being built. I mean, it was quite a few years ago, but I remember walking across a field like this and there was some fencing and stuff. I need to rewatch my video. But I don't think this was here. Let's see what it says. Cows and calves. I might not even go into the field and disturb them. Yeah, look, the gate that would allow me access to that's all padlocked. Yeah, I think that's me done. So let's do a quick top. Slough top. Slough top? No, not slough top. Sow top. We've got there. Right, back through these thistly, nettly, wet fields. Right, here's a couple of things for you. So where the tower is, isn't actually where the trig point is. The trig point's somewhere in this field of whatever it is. So I've now done 6 miles of my 16.5 mile journey today. It's pretty good. So we're down to 10.5. However, the next peak that I'm aiming for, the next Ethel, it is after 13 miles. So I've got 7 miles of countryside hiking to even get to my next one. Now at least when I get to that next one, I think it's about another mile to my final one for the day, and then probably about another couple of miles, 2.5 miles, back to where my tent and everything's all still set up waiting for me tonight. So 7 mile journey. I'm deliberately not walking very fast. I'm taking it super steady. I just got overtaken by somebody who was on a right march. Who were walking way quicker than me. But I'm taking it steady because I know I've got a long hike ahead of me. But in theory, 7 miles. If I may be just about going over 2 miles an hour because I'm walking nice and slowly, we're looking at about 3 hours before I get to my next peak. And currently the time is, not a clue, hang on, the time is 11:30. So without a stop, and I think I will stop, without a stop, we're looking at around about 2:30 till I get to the next peak. It's going to be a long old trek. Yeah, TTFN, I'm on my way. Right, just coming down from South Top, and I've noticed a signpost that says on it Limestone Way. So I've been on that before, and where I'm going now here, it also says the Limestone Way. Let's see if I remember any of this. I mean, I say the problem with, when I did the Limestone Way walk a couple of years ago, it was a weird one because a lot of the places along the route are ones that I'd kind of already done, but weirdly my head doesn't piece what we're doing here. That wind's picked up. I think ultimately I'm heading over here somewhere. I mean, it's a long way off. It's a long way off. This is going to be a bit of a mind game now. I say that as if it's something really dramatic, but I could easily sort of lose patience and lose faith with my ability to get this walk done. And there's a place along the route where I could just stop and I'll have done 3. That's no good, is it? If I'm coming out and I've got a route planned, I might as well try and stick to it. See how we get on. Lots of this straight road. I'm back on a bit that I was on before. As I approach Chelmorton, you can probably still just say Chelmorton Low in the background, but the problem I'm going to face now is I'm bored. Like I could put, I haven't got some headphones with me, but I could like put on a podcast to listen to or something, but I don't. And a lot of this trudging, I'm just going to be quite bored, which isn't very good, is it? It's not good entertainment. Anyway, I'm about 8 miles in. I'm probably about halfway. My legs know they've done some work, that's for sure. I'm just hopeful that they can kind of keep me going for the rest of it. Keep going. Well, we're back to that crossroads from earlier where we went left towards Cheadle and we've walked, a ridiculous length. But this one now, the Pennine Bridleway, we're going towards Parsley Hay. 3.5 miles to Parsley Hay. It's about 4 miles to where I need to be. Oh, look what I've just found. Oh, that might be the best thing I've ever seen. That bench could be beautiful for a bit. My legs and my feet are not happy with me. So we're on the High Peak Trail, according to this. Dowlow. Or Dowlow. Or Dolo. Anyway. Yeah, I think when I was looking on the route, I reckon I'm pretty much at 9 miles now for the whole route. Which is a hell of a walk anyway. I mean, it's no wonder my legs are absolutely not happy with me. But I'm over halfway. 9 miles down. 7.5 to go. Getting back to camp will feel good. Right, I'm probably going to stop for a bit. I reckon I'm going to stop for at least half an hour, if not longer. And I might actually look at... I'm going to drink quite a lot of water. I'm going to totally rehydrate because I feel in it. I've still got another full bottle of water that I haven't touched yet, so I can drink that over this next half an hour comfortably. And I might have a bit more of me food. We'll have to see. Alright, I'm going to stop for a bit. Right then, rest stop done. Running repairs on my definitely damaged body. Over the sort of last, I'd say half a mile before I stopped, I just felt like there was maybe a little bit of rubbing on the underside of my big toe on my right foot. So I took the advantage, once I'd had something to eat, had a drink, I just thought, right, it's an opportunity to have a quick look and see what's going on. Well, when I took my shoes off, my socks were wet. And when I took my socks off, my feet looked like they'd been in the bath for hours. You know, that kind of, I think it would have, it's kind of like trench foot, isn't it? But there was definitely a big blister developing on the underside of my big toe. So, fortunately, I had another pair of socks in my bag. So I've changed into some dry socks for the second half of my journey. I had 2 blister plasters, so I've put one on my big toe and one on just another point on my right heel. I just felt was maybe starting to rub a little bit. Couldn't see anything, but more preventative than anything. So fingers crossed, we should be good to go. So I've got about 4 miles to go to my next Ethel, my 4th Ethel of the day. Let's get our way there. Well, we've come about 1.5 miles down the track. It's all fairly easy going because it's all this kind of designated trail. So there's loads of people out cycling and stuff like that. I like these little sort of stopping points. Obviously great to have a picnic bench if you want to have a sit down, something to eat, but also if it happens to be chucking down with rain, and you've got a bit of covered shelter. So we're not continuing all the way to Parsley Hay. We'll be straight on for about another 1.5 miles, nearly 2 miles. So we're going towards Hartington. So we're heading off the High Peak Trail now. Now I'm probably completely wrong, but that in the centre of your shot now might be Low, which is the first one that I'm trying to head towards. And then potentially on the right there could be Pillsbury Hill, which is the 5th and final one. I know they're fairly close together, but that looks incredibly close. Well, we'll soon see. I'm sure I'm completely wrong. Another straight road. We've just come from down there where the bridge is in the distance. That's still the track that takes you along to Parsley Hay along the High Peak Trail. So we're just heading up at the minute. It's relatively steady. Whatever this is on the left, it's not Low. I can't even see it listed on anything. It looks quite significant, but yeah, when we get to sort of whatever the peak point is on this road, whenever we reach the top point of this, just to the right is going to be Pillsbury Hill. So Pillsbury Hill could be that. I've been up here before. I recognise this sort of turning area. God, how long ago would it have been? 2 years ago, maybe? I came up here probably with the intention to do some of these peaks, but I remember when I got up here, I mean, you can hear how windy it is already. It was driving rain, like horrendous torrential downpours. And I sat in the car for a bit, waited it out, but it never stopped. And actually, I don't think I really could park anywhere near this. There's Pillsbury Lodge Farm Camping and Caravan, part of the caravanning club. I don't think I could actually park up here. But we have got Pillsbury Hill to my right. Now we're not going to approach it from this way. We're going to end up maybe coming around the back side of it, but I don't think I can even get onto the top of that one. Neither can I get to the top of Low. So that's going to be 4 out of the 5 that I've done today that I'm not going to have been able to actually get to. In fact, I think I can see Low just off to the side. In fact, there's loads of nice ridges and stuff. Nice ridge line. We're pretty much up at the peak point now. That's why it's super windy. Just had to navigate a very broken style to get into this field to head my way across. So you can probably not quite see. You can probably see the darker green patch in front of us, but then we're hogging along that wall that's ahead, go across that wall, kind of keep going straight, but it doesn't let us go up to the peak at Low at all. It's another Bronze Age burial tombs, so it's a scheduled monument, so we can't go up to it, but we'll get as close as I can as to what I've planned anyway. So Low behind me, standing at 380 metres. Boop! That's another one done. Well, we're on the way. Pillsbury and Crowdercoats. Pillsbury being the hill that's just there, which we will not be able to summit, but I think we go up close and just crest around the side of it and come down. You can probably just about see in the distance. Let's see if I can zoom in anymore. So we got Crome Hill and Park House Hill just in the distance, but we might get a better view of them when we get closer. I've got to go down, back up to that corner, and then across. Well, I'm deep drinking my water, like a good boy. I'm 14 miles down. It's been a tough little section, that. But I've got one more to do. I've done four down, one to go, which is just round the corner from where I am right now. So in not very much time, I'll be able to at least clock in that I've done Pillsbury Hill, even though again I can't get to it. But this one I do get very, very close before I'll have to move on. And then, yes, if I've done 14 miles, in total I've only got 2.5 left, which I reckon I'll probably just about be able to get done in one stint. I'm going to have a really good rest here. I'm going to have a little snack and then get moving. Alright, well this is pretty much the point where I'm as close as I can get to the peak. Can't even see it. I mean, it's up there somewhere, but all of that is private land again. So Pillsbury Hill at 395 metres. Doop, that's you done. In the background we've still got Chelmorton Low, and in front of me I've got the final 2.5 mile stretch back to Crowdercote. I can see now Crum Hill and Parkhouse Hill, but also just in the distance over here is High Wheeldon, where I started the day. So in the foothills of that is the campsite. So heading probably along where the sort of dark track is in the field just down here, and then heading my way over there. Steady away, about 2 miles left. 1 mile to go. Probably less than 1 mile now. My legs are tired, but they're just about carrying me through okay. It's all the various places that it's rubbing and stuff like that. I'll give you some more facts and figures about this walk in a bit. But seeing as we've got the main bit out of the way, which is all the Ethels, let's talk about those. So we had High Wheeldon, we had Chelmorton Low, Pillsbury Hill, Sow Top, and there was another low. What was it called? I can't remember. But was it worth it? And I think the answer to that, in all honesty, is no. I just feel like there's that slight more sense of achievement when you actually get to the summit, especially if there's then a trig point for it as well, because you've actually got to the top. Well, this was quite a lot of walking not to the top, and whilst I'm sure my body is fairly thankful for that, I'm not sure it makes for either an entertaining video or entertaining me. I've kept myself amused along the way, but one thing's for sure, this is definitely the longest hike I've ever done. I checked out all my previous hikes, and the previous longest hike that I did was the very first day of my Hadrian's Wall hike last year with Alexi. That was 15.1 miles, and most of that was fairly flat walking along the riverside. It was only really the last stint up to Eldon that was the tough bit, whereas this has been a little bit more all over the place. I mean, thankfully it's not been huge amounts of ups and downs, but it's the longest I've done at 16.5 miles. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'll stick another one in as long as that. It's been a heck of a challenge considering I've not really been hiking at all. You know, my body is definitely not used to doing this. My feet certainly aren't. My legs will be a little bit more bonkers. Right, what else can I tell you? I can tell you, if I come off that for a minute. So I haven't even finished yet, I've still got about another mile to go. But I'm currently on 40,300 steps. That's kind of insane. I think it also means that I'm pretty sure that means I can get away with not walking again for 4 days. Is that how it works? I'm not sure. I think my body will tell me not to walk for a couple of days. I'm just trying to follow the path that takes me down into Crowdycote. And I think when I get down into Crowdycote, I will walk past the pub. Now I won't have anything alcoholic because I'm super dehydrated right now. I mean, I've drunk 2 full cartons of water, including like an isotonic drink. But what I need is some more water and then maybe a pint of blackcurrant and lemonade, something to sort of really hydrate me and give me that bit of a sugary boost. And just to annoy me, it's now feeling like some big fat spots of rain. Hopefully I can get to where I need to without having to get me waterproof on. Yeah, there's a few spots coming down. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the hike. I'm not sure I have. But there's all sorts of other videos in and around at the minute, so hopefully you've watched the tent review video a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully you've watched the what was the other thing I did? Oh yeah, my Timu review. Hopefully you've watched that as well. This one, and then next week you're going to get a chance to see everything I've been eating all the way along this trip, because I treated myself to an army ration pack, and you can have a look at that. So that'll be next week, because I've been recording that along the way. And when I get back to my campsite tonight, I've got the dinner from that to look forward to. So, from me, Toodle Pip, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. My body is telling me. My body is telling me no. Hang on, let me take this off. Oh.